In a world where our friends call us not us united and our enemies call us midnight rain, two dudes must learn to podcast as the Fremen do in order to survive the desert planet of endless content. We don't care how many enemies we have. They'll never be prepared for us. Not us united. You know that old saying, when life cracks your eggs,
Cookie crumbles.
time to make some eggnog.
Oh. Well, welcome everyone to Not Us United, a podcast about eggnog. This week, how eggnog was made. Now, you might be asking, how does a podcast about eggnog not talk about how eggnog was made? Well, this is our first week of our podcast.
You're insane. I'm like walking with you. I'm trying to track, and then I'm just like, oh boy, this eggnog bit is just not going to pan out.
Yep. Well, you started it, so.
Well, I was trying to create the ambiance of when people jump into this,
Yeah.
but they, they're still putting their headphones in or like
Yeah.
getting the car, ready. We don't want you to like focus too hard when you're like getting out of where you're needing to go. But now that you're on the road, you're here.
Welcome, and here's some eggnog.
Yes, with Not Us United.
A podcast that likes to see cinema and eggnog a little differently.
Are you actually a eggnog fan?
Well, I think I've had eggnog about 3 times.
Okay, and
I'm fine with it. But the most recent time, over the good old Jolly St. Christmas Claus.
Okay.
This year.
Okay, got
This
it.
most recent
Okay.
Jolly St. Nicholas. I tried eggnog with coffee, and
kind of as a
like
creamer.
Right?
Interesting.
Yeah. And
But it was legit eggnog and legit coffee. It wasn't an eggnog creamer.
no, it was eggnog, at least from a eggnog bottle.
Okay.
And coffee made from a coffee. So yes.
Apparently, the store-bought eggnog from the AE brand is actually legit.
AE.
Yeah, that's like the hearty Iowa Midwestern milk
American East, Okay.
brand. Yeah, sure. I don't know.
Um.
Midwest is weird too. It's like you can't be mid and west.
Well, if you're west of,
I would just say
something
we're
else
just
that's
the middle. We don't need to be called like the middle.
yeah, but we're the middle of the west, I guess.
Are we? I don't know. I feel like we're even closer to east.
But we're mid, yeah. But we're mid.
Yeah, but we're Midwest. Yeah, true.
Yeah, you can't say mid-east because that's already a thing.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess since we do see cinema a little differently, we also see geography a little differently
I like
too.
this. I like how this is going. That's a good podcast. Let's transition into what we're actually talking about this week.
Yeah.
Which actually, we're talking about the whole year this week.
The whole year.
All
the year
2022.
in review.
Year in review. This is 2022. Some say it's been a year. Some say it's also been a year. But we say it's been a year since.
We didn't get all of our stupid jokes out before this podcast because we kind of just jumped right in. So
Well, this is
I
what happens
apologize.
when we miss a week for Christmas. It just comes out all at once.
Christmas break, we see each other, and instead of like hugging and be like, "Oh man, I missed you," it's more just like, get ready for some stupid stuff that I haven't been able to say in front of anyone else because I've been around people that would make fun of me if I said these things.
I've been around normal people.
Yeah. So instead, we're giving it to you,
Yeah.
the listeners.
The listeners. Thank you. So we thought it would be a good idea to just talk about the year of 2022, the movies of 2022, something we like, something we don't like, and just talk about it in general.
Yes.
Overall, how do you feel about movies in 2022?
I mean, it was nice that it was a full calendar year of movies for the most part being back to normal.
Yes.
Whereas
Last year
2021 was like, wow, that was a punch to the system for like the last 4 months, with a little bit in the summer months as well. But there was like a half a year where it was still kind of touch and go. So it did feel, for the most part, in the last time in like 3 years, to actually feel like we're back.
Yeah.
Theaters and all that stuff. It's all back. And I think there were some very special experiences that came out this year that maybe punched slightly harder, or maybe even were more like emotionally resonant, that I was emotionally more resonant to. Is
Sure.
that how you would say that?
Yeah, just maybe connecting more with it.
Because it had been such a drought to kind of like, apart from like No Way Home in 2021, which was like right at the tail end. 2022 had like a few of those where I was like, "Oh, we're back, baby.
Yeah,
This is
some
it."
big stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No Way Home was like enough CGI and stuff that that like, oh, this was still pretty COVID safe.
Yeah.
You know, but some of these other movies finally felt like, hey, here's the big, it's go time.
Yeah, it's go time.
So I'll talk more about those later. But as a whole, we're back.
We're back.
We're
back, baby.
And I feel like hopefully 2023 is now a little leaner because they're not double booking movies now. Hopefully it's been kind of spread out. We might be dealing with this for another year or two where it's like
this was supposed
25% more movies this year than last because they still like have to get them released.
Yeah.
But
and this felt like, okay, even last year was, this HBO Max did all the straight to HBO Max, and here's this movie, and like, okay, do you really need to go to the cinemas? No, not technically, but this felt like, okay, now we have to, like, the cinema and this experience for us is like there and present, and so I think this is definitely a back to normal, and 2023 will probably be same old, which is just fine.
Yep. That is a nice thing that I still am glad that is still kind of existing from the pandemic era, is this whole like 6 weeks in theaters, or maybe not even, like some are just getting select theater releases and then straight to HBO. So there are some of those where it's like, I don't know if I want to financially risk going and seeing these 3 movies, but I already am invested in HBO Max. So if I could just see those, that's nice. I don't know how that works for bottom line. I know I'm still technically supporting those things,
but not as much.
But at least it's nice to be like, oh, the net is catching at least some of these.
So you're the reason that Black Adam failed. Got it.
Well, I'm definitely not the reason Black Adam failed. I think there's a lot more to that one. But I will say, like, how many of these like Oscar movies that are coming out that do that select theatrical run, or like are only going to be in the theater for maybe 2 weeks, couldn't be seen but can actually be seen before the Oscars come out in the next 2 to 3 months because they're on streaming. I think that's huge.
That's extremely helpful. I mean, like, one of the challenges of the Oscars is like, oh, cool, I've heard a great thing about this movie, never seen it because I don't live in New York.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that's nice. Like, I'll talk about this movie later, but The Banshees of Inisherin came out like, I think like 4 weeks ago or something. I don't remember what actually it came out, but then it was literally on HBO Max within the last week or so, or a week or two. And it was one I was interested in, but I missed the theatrical run because it was only in for a week at one of our local theaters. And I was like, oh, bummer, that actually would have been one I would have tried to get to. It's just I had such a short window of time, and it being around the holidays, and then got to watch it. So it was super nice, because I think that'll be one that's in the award season. So anyway, that's just an example.
That's one I do regret not getting to.
Yeah.
So
you will.
Oh, I will.
I will.
Well, awesome. I think it's been overall a pretty solid year. I think looking back on all the movies that I've seen, I'm like, I've enjoyed at least most of these to some extent. Yeah. I keep track. I've seen 23 new movies this year.
Oh, dang. I need to get better at that.
Quite a lot, I think, for about just 2022 movies. Yeah. Not counting anything else that I've seen.
How many of those were in theaters? Do you have that data?
I can make it for you real quick.
Oh, no, it's okay. Just curious. Because we've probably seen somewhere in the ballpark of 5 to 10 together in the theater, I would guess.
I've seen 12, so about
half.
A little over half.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I think is pretty normal for me.
Yeah.
Although if I miss it, I'll watch it on streaming.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely at least 13. A movie, if not 2, to watch every month in theaters.
Yeah, I saw 13 actually.
Yeah.
In theaters. Anyways,
I'm just curious.
Yeah, it is interesting.
So the rest of those new ones, are those new to you, or are those movies that were released
all
this year?
2022 movies?
Nice. Okay.
I don't do. I've seen some lists where it's like movies in 2022, and
Yeah,
here's The Shining.
Top Gun 1.
Yeah, it's like, wait,
nice.
no, that doesn't count. I
It's
mean,
new
yes,
to me.
maybe you've seen it in 2022, and I get
Yeah.
that. That's a different list, but
Got
this is, I've had this list, and I have whatever movie I saw in that year, I have it, and I have it ranked. I have them all ranked,
Oh, beautiful.
and then I have the entire decade so far ranked.
Dang. Man, the data lovers listening right now are just like, I want to see that Excel spreadsheet.
Oh,
Bad.
let me tell. Oh, dude, if we want to get into Excel
Ooh, maybe give me
spreadsheets,
that template and I'll start. I don't know if I'll backlog, but maybe 2023 I'll just
I
start.
don't have an Excel sheet. This is just on a website.
Oh,
But I have an Excel sheet for my IMDb top 250.
yes,
I have an
that's
Excel sheet for that,
Well,
and I have graphs and everything.
you shared it with me.
Oh, did I?
But it's your version. We
Yes.
have one that we're doing.
Yes, but
Yes.
I have a version where I see whatever date I saw it in, I write that
Oh,
down, and then I have a graph
beautiful.
that says over time how
What?
yeah.
How do I not know this about you?
Anyway, yeah,
You're nerdy.
yeah.
I like it.
I've not seen one of those movies in quite some time, so right now the bar is very flat.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Tells you like, hey, it's about time. It's been a decade.
It is interesting. So let me just talk about this for a second.
No.
Because this gets me going. So like, there's definitely like I have it mapped out. I've been doing this for like 5-6 years, and so you have it mapped out in the timeline of like how long, and like whenever I watched a movie, it would go up and go up and go up, and then you can definitely see when 2020 happened. I had a big spike. Yeah, I watched about
I'm in my house a
yeah,
lot.
I did like one or two every other day,
Yeah.
and it spiked, and then I like normal things started happening again. It was like maybe like one every few months.
This is where, yeah.
This is when I got a job.
Yeah, this is like nice. Beautiful.
So it's just interesting to see. Like I haven't watched a 250 movie in at least eight months. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Because I've been watching new stuff, and then we're doing our own list, and so I'm going back on those ones, and so
Sure.
when we get back to that, there'll be a few of like, oh yeah, I haven't seen this one. But
Sweet.
anyways, if you want analytics on that, I got you.
I would love them. That sounds awesome.
Anyways, yeah, it's been fun for me to say like, oh, I've seen 23 movies, new 2022 movies this year, and that's like one every week, a little more over.
So then the other ones were
every other
obviously original to streaming in those.
Some of them.
Oh, okay.
Some were I just caught on streaming. I would say most were original on streaming, and then the others were stuff that I saw Uncharted. I didn't catch it when it came into theaters.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
Or I saw
makes
Morbius
sense.
and I didn't see
You
it when it
rented it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So those are two of your new movies that you saw. Okay, nice.
I'm gonna just name drop the two best movies of 2022.
Yeah, I'm interested. Yeah, where those fall. I think you're probably going from the bottom up or something. Is that why you said those two? It's fine. Okay.
I have the entire list here if you want to see it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll see it after this. Okay, so what would you rather start with? Would you rather start with some highs, or do you want to start with some lows and then just finish strong with like the optimistic?
I think we gotta finish strong.
Okay. So let's start with perhaps what was, I guess, in order for something to be the most disappointing film, it probably had to also be something you were decently excited for.
Yeah.
So not necessarily the worst film of the year, but perhaps the one that could have been the better one, and it ended up not being. So what was that?
So brought up before, like I don't think I can count Morbius as the most disappointing film.
Yeah, it wasn't like
I was
you're
not excited about Morbius.
A lot of chips you weren't playing on,
Yeah.
on Morbius for being like, hey,
it was exactly what it was
the
supposed
Spider-Man
to be.
villain. I really need to be fleshed out.
I think I can have kind of two.
Okay.
I think the one that I'm probably most disappointed in is Jurassic World Dominion, because it's just I was like, maybe is this the one that they
Yeah.
put on? And it wasn't.
Yeah.
I think it's just boring. I think it's just more of the same. I think there's like 5 or 6 good things in there, but that's over a 2.5 hour long period, and they're like, this is definitely the last movie, but it's not.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's just everything surrounding it is like, hey, let's make money.
Dang.
And that's all it was.
That's rough.
Secondly, I don't think I can say this is next to disappointing because I do like enough of it, is Thor Ragnarok.
Gotcha.
I wasn't super hot on it.
Yeah, that's fair. As I've sat with that movie longer, I've kind of wondered its existence and like what its purpose ultimately was. And could it have just been like a mini series, or could it have done, I don't know, like did it have to be, did we need that chapter?
I like it enough to where like I think there were some amazing shots in it, and I think the villain's great, and I think that whole black and white sequence awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it really is like, okay, the story itself good. I didn't mind the story it told.
Yeah.
I just think it was too ridiculous. Like it was like it was too. We talked about this in our review. If you want to hear more about that, go ahead, check out Not Us United. But it was just too silly.
Sure.
And it just cranked everything up to 15.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, what if everything was a joke? Like, you thought Marvel movies were all jokes, but what if every single like moment was a joke? And it's like,
yeah,
it was too much. It was too much.
That's fair.
Because I've liked Taika's stuff. His own like Hunt for the Wilder People, and the Jojo Rabbit. That's great. And it's not that I don't like his style. I just think like this movie was too much.
Fair. Yeah. No, I'm with you. And it felt like, unfortunately, anything following Thor Ragnarok, when you like, no trilogy has ever, I shouldn't say ever, but like, what trilogy has ever, maybe Lord of the Rings, like, the third chapter is the best of the three.
Well, you would say Return of the King is your favorite.
Well, I mean, Two Towers is my favorite.
Oh, sorry, that is your
favorite. I mean, it's hard to be like, yeah, the Return of the King sucks out of those three.
Well, they're all 11s out of 10, I'll say.
Yeah, they're but I'm just like,
when's how's the third one going to be the best one?
Yeah, like, is Return of the Jedi the best out of that trilogy of Star Wars? No. So it's just like,
Revenge of the Sith?
Probably.
I think so. I think undoubtedly.
But also, who cares?
Yeah.
Because that trilogy is like,
as a whole. Yeah.
And so I think it was just very surprising when Ragnarok kind of like came out guns a-blazing and just kind of reinvented this character. But to kind of, it also feels like, where could it go now?
Yeah.
As well. It's like, man, you did recreate him. He did go through some cool stuff. But how much of his story do we still need?
Yeah.
You know? And a part of me just kind of feels like, did this need to be created because they still need a couple big names to kind of carry this to the next space where it's going?
Yeah.
Because I was re-listening to one of our episodes on the Wakanda Forever and just kind of the future of the MCU, and I'm wondering if Disney's kind of trying to figure out like, hey, we can't quite pass this on to
Shuri.
You know, Shuri. Well, not necessarily that, but like with Chadwick Boseman being out, who's the big actor that we go like, all right, David Harbour's gonna come in as the Red Guardian and be like, he'll be our next title. Like, there's just no like bridge, and so Shuri, I think, is gonna play a huge part. But that movie kind of also left it as she is going to be the Black Panther, and maybe Wakanda will be ruled by someone else, and so that will have its own arc or whatever in a TV show or whatever. But it's always been, you know, who's our Civil War? Like, who's our two dudes? It doesn't have to be dudes, but like who is that?
The two pillars of like the Marvel universe
and
now.
Thor
is kind of that.
Was invigorated, but also feels like, does he have more story to tell?
Yeah.
Maybe seeing Loki one last time, but like it also feels like he's kind of slowly burning out. So, but it's not like Catherine Hahn's gonna be like, I'm Agatha Harkness, I'll take over.
Yeah.
It's like it just doesn't quite feel like there's quite a pillar yet.
Yeah.
So maybe they don't need one.
And kind of Doctor Strange is trying to fit that role as well.
Yeah.
As like the new maybe Tony Stark, but then they're still like, what's Tom Holland gonna do?
But
like,
his sequel wasn't like Winter Soldier good.
No.
His sequel was like meh. So it's like, can you keep I mean, I think Benedict Cumberbatch kills it as Doctor Strange, so it's probably still fine to have him be like one of the guys. But yeah, as Tom Holland step up, it's just hard to say, because now they've written him into a corner too, where it's like no one actually knows.
Right.
I have no idea. So
the answer is the Eternals.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. True. Jon Snow, baby.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Gosh.
It's happening.
Yeah. Anyways, what about you? What was something that was most disappointing for you? What did you have some hype for that fell short?
It's a good question. I mean, I think I was kind of leaning into Thor a little bit with you there because I was like, yeah, in retrospect,
You were pretty hot on Thor when we saw
I
it.
liked. I mean, I liked that it ended. I think he still needed what he got out of it. I just don't know if the rest of the movie had to happen in order for it to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And it just doesn't feel like it's gonna go anywhere. So I think I was more excited, like, oh man, another reinvigoration of Thor. Let's go, baby. So probably for me, I think I said this in the episode, but it'll probably be Doctor Strange 2,
Mm-hmm.
just because he is limitless in what can be done.
Sure.
And this one, I think, had its reins kind of pulled back a little bit. It didn't quite go scary. It didn't quite go multiversy. It just didn't. It felt like it pulled its punches a lot. And while that's safe for the title character, I get it. But like, I've seen Disney do it with their main characters. Captain America is the perfect example of, you can have a very interesting character and you can have all of their movies be the pivotal universe shifting films. And it blew my mind that out of the 4 main Avengers, Captain America was the one that always had the pivotal, hey, guess what? S.H.I.E.L.D.'s not a thing anymore. Hey, guess what? The Avengers are completely broken. Whereas, like, Iron Man just fought bigger Iron Men.
Right.
And Thor just fought another Asgardian faceless enemy. And the Hulk didn't get a movie for a while. And so it's just, I feel like they can do that so much easier with Doctor Strange because he literally can go anywhere and do anything all the time. And that's not, and Captain couldn't do that, and he still had these incredibly thought-provoking, cool plots, well-written stuff, and parts of those scenes were just him literally running. He's just a human man that's just slightly better than the rest of us physically. That's it. And I just feel like now do that with wizards.
Yeah.
And it's fine. I don't know why the writing couldn't have been or why they can't just bet big on some of these. It just feels like this phase was very much the teasing phase of, you don't know what's happening next because we don't actually know what's happening
it did
next.
feel like there wasn't and that's what they've been kind of doing for the first few phases, where it's we don't really know, but it kind of fell into place, I think. Because first phase, they really didn't know. Yeah. They kind of was maybe, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But this feels like there's just so many pots on the boil right now. We're just we're all waiting.
Yeah,
it's
and almost like they're waiting for our reaction to be like, oh, okay, they like Doctor Strange. Go. Yes. That's plan A.
They threw everything out there, and then they're going to see what sticks. And so far, not a lot has honestly stuck.
Yeah. Some of the shows, Loki was, I liked the best. I like Loki. That came out this year, right? I'm not crazy. Or was that last year?
That was this year.
It was, right?
Yeah.
No, wait, maybe it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
I think it was last year.
Yeah.
It was totally last year. Okay. Yeah. Time doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's a construct, Doctor Strange.
Just like Loki. Yeah.
And so I think once they have a clear picture, once we get the Kang Dynasty thing out of the way, and they're like, hey, now everyone's on board with there just being a crap ton of planets and universes all converging, and it's just going to get crazy. Great. But until we get there, they're pulling their punches to be well, we don't want continuity to get too far out of here, so Doctor Strange just cast this one little spell and stay where you are.
Yeah,
it's just
didn't feel
you're the
enough.
Sorcerer Supreme. Do some cool stuff, But that being said, I do feel like that movie did risk a little bit of going full cheesy comic book-y stuff. And I think we need to get used to that, because if we're going to continue down this roster of characters that's more bizarre as we keep going, there will be less and less Iron Men and Captain Americas, and there's going to be a lot more Doctor Strange, zombie, crazy people who can like kick buildings down with multiversal energy. Like, it's just going to get weirder.
Right.
So we need to get used to some of these things, but I think we can still hold them up to like, hey, I know you have the writing capabilities of making good plots. Now you just have way cooler toys that can do magic-y things. So just do that. And that's where I think I was more disappointed.
Yes, it felt like they just could have done more, and it was just, and maybe we're asking for too much, because like I think what you said before, like,
I'm gonna stop you there.
Oh.
Multi-billion-dollar company.
Okay,
we can ask for as much as we want.
But we've like I think
we've supported them.
Yeah, but 10 years ago,
yeah.
if we would have gotten a Doctor Strange movie like this, we're like, what the heck? This is awesome.
Correct. But I don't think this is where I will be critical of Marvel, where I am sometimes of like DC. Now that they have gotten this far, I know that they can just have fun, and that I agree that they need to risk it and do some crazy stuff. But it doesn't mean that the quality has to all of a sudden take a dip. I don't think they've like, I know I've said they've earned their ability to like have fun with the universe now, where they're going to do some crazy stuff, but I don't think that we can't not hold them to the standard of like, listen, if Captain America Winter Soldier exists, I know you guys can make a great sequel with a single character. It's okay. Like, I know it's possible. So I don't think we have to be like, they get, 2 extra points because, well, they did the Infinity Saga.
Sure.
It's like, so there's some grace that I agree. Like, yeah, I want there to be this load of content now that they're like, hey, we can make a Moon Knight show and it might not connect to anything. Is that cool with you guys? And we're like, sure. It doesn't mean that we're not going to also say that it sucks if it does.
I think I agree. I think their TV shows have been far better than their movies this year.
Yeah, which is wild.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that it shifted the way that it did.
Yeah.
But we also have nothing to compare it to. It wasn't like when Endgame came out, it's like, well,
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
well, it was no Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's like, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Way better.
Cool. Well, let's flip the script on that. What about the most surprising movie? What movie was just like, didn't expect this, but...
Where to begin?
Yeah, I think there was a few surprises in this year.
I think there's a right answer, and then there's a couple funny answers.
I know what you want to say.
But I think the right answer would probably be Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah. I think that would be like a movie that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's fair.
And I mean, it was insane.
Who saw this coming? Yeah.
It was insane. It was so good.
Yeah. Great movie. If you haven't seen it yet, please.
Yeah. But there was definitely like some other films that I was like surprised at how good it was.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be starting off the year, or at least spring, would have been the Batman.
Yes.
I mean, that was...
We say again.
As Paul Dano says, as the Riddler, Ave Maria. So good.
I think that's a movie that, like, I had so hyped, and it exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, that's crazy when that happens.
I had so much expectation going into it, and it exceeded that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think... It's crazy to me that they're still able to do something unique to their vision with a character that we all know about and still make it compelling.
Yeah.
And this is a guy who like still really loves Ben Affleck as Batman.
Agreed.
Even though the movies that he is in, I'm not the biggest fan of.
Our entire podcast name came from Ben Affleck.
Dude,
Not United.
Game respects game, baby. He had a great quote in Justice League. And it was in both cuts? Or no, it was just maybe the Snyder cut. It was the Snyder.
No, it wasn't Snyder cut.
Oh, 100% it was.
It was?
Nothing was on the chopping floor in Snyder cut.
No, I thought it got replaced by whatever Whedon did. That was the Whedon. No, it was. It was in both.
No,
You're right.
I think
you're right.
If anything, it's for sure in the Snyder cut. It might not be in the original cut.
Okay.
It might just be like I don't know, but yeah.
Turns out we gotta
Bro
watch them both
says,
again.
"Hey, no, never fought us.
Actually,
Not United.
nice.
Let's go." Honestly, I wonder how many people watch that and go like, "Wait, did they take that from Not Us United?"
One day we'll get that big. One day.
They're gonna look back to this episode. Prophecy, baby. So that would be one for me. Most surprising, and then I think, I was even surprised that Violent Night was actually as good as it was.
Yeah, I think that you hyped that up for yourself.
Yeah.
And then I was just hoping it would be good so that you wouldn't be disappointed.
I mean, there were parts where I was almost standing up in the theater, bro. It was like, oof,
yeah.
dang.
I mean, that's like your favorite movie of all time now, so.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was so good. And Maverick, for sure.
Oh, well, that was my answer.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I'm surprised you didn't get to that. I mean, I think for Maverick, like, a reboot of a movie from, what, the 80s? This has never gone well.
Right.
This movie should not be this good. And to be, like, the highest grossing, the, like all these practical effects, it just looks so great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this was so surprising. I loved this movie.
Yeah.
It was so surprising because I had no expectation. I was almost negative expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Even, like, I haven't seen the first one, but I'm like,
maybe I'm biased being a Tom Cruise fan, but I didn't have, like, negative.
mm-hmm.
I just didn't think it was going to be, like, I just don't have a huge reverence for Top Gun 1.
Mm-hmm.
That, for me, I was, like, a sequel to a movie that I'm, like, not super hot on.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. But this was good.
Yeah, this was a great movie.
And it's one of those sequels that, like, honors old stuff. But if you're just a newcomer and you're just like I've only seen Top Gun Maverick,
mm-hmm.
you're sold. You're fine.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough there that you can just jump right in. Cool.
Yeah.
Good, clean family fun.
Yeah.
Good, clean family fun.
Yeah. The part where the ship, where he flies over the mountain and he flips.
And then the part when he's like, dude, it's insane.
I just can't get over how excited I am when people just put their hands on the window of a plane. I loved when that happened. I don't know why. When they're just like turning around,
Yeah.
he's like, "What the heck?"
I know in some ways it kind of showed how real it was.
Yeah.
You know, that like they actually were in the air and stuff.
Yeah.
And good on those actors because like they totally could have signed I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Like
I don't want to die clause.
Just like CGI me. It's not like this is like hurting the budget of this movie or whatever. And so, if anything, it probably was more expensive to fly them than it was to fake
Probably,
fly
but it
them.
was great. And they
it was
made their
cool.
money back, so.
Yeah. And it was nice, like, when they would jerk, like, I'm going to go into it, like, I'm going to ascend, how they immediately responded to that. It did make it feel a lot more real than like, I have to act like I'm going up.
Yeah.
Because I'm in a fake thing that's not going to, so to just, you know, it felt real because it was. And that's really awesome.
Yeah.
That's true. That was a good one.
I think because I was low on it.
I think going into Everything Everywhere All at Once, though, when we were just like, this is going to be a weird movie.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect for it to hit so like,
hard. The heart of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's good. Those are good ones.
Wonderful. What's up next?
Let's see. We have Guilty Pleasure movie.
Okay.
And I know what you're thinking, Nick, but I'm going to put this in a... For me, a Guilty Pleasure movie is a movie that isn't supposed to be good, but I like it.
Yeah.
And I know you want to go A Violent Night, but that's a good movie.
But it's not supposed to be.
Okay, fair. Fine.
Okay.
Fine. You can have
but
it.
I don't have to. That's fine.
No, you're fine. I don't care. There's no
Everyone
rules.
should see Violent Night. We've already talked about it. It's fine. Let's use it as a different movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll have to think about it now because the clear answer was Violent
No,
Night.
you can have a Violent Night.
I don't want it. I've already talked about it. It's fine. Let me fill this in with something else. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Mine is either. I have two. I have two for everything because I can't make a decision. I enjoyed Sonic 2. It's definitely like this movie is not great, but I think it's fun. I think it's like I would kind of have fun and watch it. And my second one is I didn't hate Uncharted that much. I kind of liked it.
Uncharted.
I thought it was cool. It was like a
Uncharted was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't hate Uncharted.
It's like a 5 out of 10, but I like it. I might even watch it again sometime.
You think that was supposed to not be good? Yeah, you're right. It's a video game movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both video game movies.
I just all people think, oh yeah, they are. I don't think a lot of people are very hot on Uncharted,
Mm.
but I would see an Uncharted 2, no doubt.
This is a timeout for this topic because I do need to ask you live.
Okay.
Are we going to do the Last of Us HBO series?
Oh yeah, that'd be
podcast
great.
episode?
I would love to do that.
Okay, because it looks good.
Yeah.
I saw the
Pedro
trailer for it,
Pascal?
and it, dude, they did the thing.
I didn't see the trailer. I'm so excited.
The monsters are like on point. I mean, it's gonna
That's
be rough.
soon, right?
Yeah, and it's HBO, so it's like there will actually be plot development in every episode, and like there will actually be stuff happening.
It's not like you have to
Very
wait 3
excited.
episodes and then whoa.
Yeah. It won't be like a 13 episode where nothing happens for 12.
I will say I am watching Andor.
I've heard
very good,
really good things about that. I need to do
very good.
Because people are like, it's kind of Star Warsy, but then it just becomes this amazing political, like, how do you, the whole rebellion and like fighting dirty and stuff. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very
good.
I'm very excited.
Good.
Okay, I'll sit down and I'll finally watch it.
Okay.
I'm not watching Boba Fett though.
No, you do not. I actually would say watch 2 episodes.
I'm
Boba
excited to just go into the Mandalorian, going, hey, you probably did some stuff that I didn't know. Cool.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
But anyway, okay. Guilty pleasure movie from this year. I'm honestly, shout out to the Scream Queen upstairs. I'm gonna go with Bones and All.
Oh, that's fine.
Because I can't talk to anyone about that movie that hasn't seen it and get them to go, interesting.
I'll watch it.
I would watch that.
Yep.
Because you just can't sell that movie.
That's fair.
But dang, dude, it's gonna have such a special place in our hearts.
Yeah.
You know,
that was a special
before
time.
they're devoured. And
What?
it's just what?
You can't just go.
What? I assume that's how I'll die.
I thought you were talking about our heart. Okay, whatever.
No, our heart. Like,
Who's gonna eat you?
Someone. I don't know who. If I knew, I would tell you, so we could keep them away from me. I'm just assuming after this movie that there's probably like 1 in 7 people are cannibals.
Where are you getting these stats from?
I don't have stats in front of me, but probably. Maybe
If we had
1 in 70.
Okay, that's more like, because if we have one person,
You think? Yeah.
I mean, you thought 1 in 7. You can't. You can't be like, 1 in 70. Yeah, right. If you got 7 people in a room, you're at Thanksgiving or Christmas. You think one person in your family is a cannibal?
I think 1 in 7 people have experimented. No, I'm just kidding.
Are you coming out now?
No, I'm not. No, it's fine.
A little
It's
numb
fine.
on your leg.
We have to be very careful how we proceed. No, I'm just saying that this movie, I enjoyed.
Yeah, you would. You would, wouldn't you? You can't.
No, yeah, you would. I think when a movie can get you to like experience something that you would never like be close to, but use it as a metaphor for like other things is cool. And so I think what's interesting about this film is when I go to describe this movie to people, if I said, and they're vampires, everyone goes, oh, that's interesting. I would like to see that movie.
Right.
Even though it's the exact same plot of every vampire movie. It's not like they're going to see something new.
Mm-hmm.
But I say, but they're human. And they just go, that's disgusting. Why would I ever watch that movie?
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, you're watching. I mean, most movies are fiction anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what's you just can't sell it because it's too close to who they are, so they can't relate.
Mm-hmm.
But when you use the metaphor as a vampire,
it's fine.
it's different, you know? It's this uncontrollable whatever. And it's like, well, yeah, but everyone has that. We all do it with, food, content, something. Like, we're all doing this. They just happen to have the one vice that's, like, not really socially good for people because it affects others.
Sure.
But when it only affects yourself, which is kind of why I'm interested in seeing, like, The Whale. Because it sounds like it's similar in that, like, he's inflicting it upon himself. So does that affect others?
Mm-hmm.
Is that make it bad? Does that make it, like, is it more socially acceptable because it's only harming himself? Or can we enter into these movies and go, why is that harmful? And, like, is there still a place where those people are welcomed, even if this is their thing that they can be healed from? So I don't know. I just thought, I didn't think I would read a book or see a movie about this topic, and I'm leaving 2020 going, hey, never say never.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it was unique, and it was something that I'm never probably gonna experience something like that again.
Yeah. And if they would have been strictly villains, like a Hannibal Lecter, for instance, then it's a compelling movie because that guy's already bad. But what happens when the characters aren't inherently evil, but they just have this tick that harms other people? It's really bad.
Yeah.
I just found it interesting that that was what was so appalling. But it's like you watch a movie where it's like, I just have, you watch Dexter.
Yeah.
Dexter's like, I just have this urge to kill people, but I'm only killing people that kill people. Oh, I can watch that.
So it's fine. Yeah.
I'll chop these people up. And we're like, yeah, get them. This person's like, I chop them up so that I can eat them. And we're like, oh, no, I'm out.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it fascinated me because it was actually a good movie, and it was able to deliver on that. So
okay, I have this category on as a semi joke, but I had best cannibal movie on here.
Oh shoot. Oh, I didn't see. Oh yeah, you did
at the end. Yeah, it was kind of a joke.
My bad. I would give it to Bones and All.
But I would give it to Fresh.
Oh yeah, I forgot you actually saw that.
I did. You made me watch 2 cannibal movies this year.
I did really like Fresh.
Nick, you made me watch 2 cannibal movies this year.
Most surprising, Fresh.
Yeah.
Why didn't I say Fresh?
Yeah.
I totally forgot that was this year.
Don't say we're talking.
Yeah, you're right.
You're giving me weird cannibal vibes right now, Nick.
Yeah, Fresh is excellent.
It's Fresh. Is it better than Bones and All? For me, it is, because it's much more palatable than Bones and All.
Well, and it's clear that sinister intentions, bad guy, who happens to be cannibal, and then there's a clear protagonist.
Right.
Where this kind of muddies the water.
Right, and that's cool for Bones and All to be like, that is the interesting moment of that.
I would say that, yeah, I probably... Oh, man.
You're definitely going to get someone to watch Fresh more.
Yeah, maybe.
But I think what is also unique about Fresh is, sorry if you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
Hold on for a second.
Yeah.
I already spoiled it, but there's a twist where it's just like 30 minutes into the movie, it's like, wait a second.
Yeah, and it would have been interesting to know if they marketed it that way, because I didn't know if it was like, is this a dating movie that goes bad? What is this? And the first 30 minutes is just like a rom-com of just like, oh, this girl's kind of falling in love, and then it just does this huge 180.
Yeah.
I'd probably say it's hard to say that I would enjoy. It's hard to say I enjoy either of these movies.
More
but I
than the
did
other,
really like Fresh.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Fresh.
Yeah, I have Fresh higher. Just because I think it is more...
The music in Fresh is insane, too.
It's good. And so, I think, again, listen to our Bones and All episode, but I respect Bones and All. I enjoyed my experience with Bones and All, but it's not something that I'm like, I don't know. It's still tricky for me.
There's
I don't want to
something
champion
about Bones and All that takes kind of the idea of cannibalism, and it almost makes it doesn't romanticize it, but it shows the intimacy of that. Whereas Fresh is a lot more clean cut, perhaps, because it's kind of like packaged. There's clearly like a bad guy. There's distance between it when they are like consuming. It's not clearly human. Like, you just kind of know that it's happening.
Right.
Whereas Bones and All is a lot more like raw.
Yeah.
About
nice
in how they eat and how it's delivered.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to each their own.
Yeah.
I don't know which. It's hard to say, because like there's a component.
They are different. There's
a component to Bones and All where these two people, if they could choose to not be this so that they could live normal lives, I think they would totally in a heartbeat do that. But it's the one thing that makes them like connect in a way that no one else can connect with them to, and so it's really beautiful in some ways. It's tricky. I know what you mean.
Yeah. Anyways, we can stop talking about eating people.
Num num.
No.
All right.
No. All right, I think let's move on to some comic book categories.
Oh wait, okay.
Or what?
We did do some comic book stuff, but yes.
Well, I think we can do worst and best.
Okay.
Let's
Fair
start with
enough.
worst because we already know what that is.
Yeah. You go first.
It's Morbius.
Yeah, you're right.
Nick.
It's clearly Black Adam. No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe if we saw it, maybe Black Adam would on here.
Yeah.
I just think objectively, this movie is just bad. But it's not the worst movie I've ever seen.
Yeah. It is tricky when they keep trying to do, hey, this is a Spider-Man adjacent property, and he's not going to be in it.
Yeah.
And we're going to falsely advertise that he might be in it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, did you see that now there's like a lawsuit that trailers can't be misleading anymore?
Oh, really?
Because apparently this dates back to the movie Yesterday. Did you ever see Yesterday?
No, but
You know of it?
I know of Mystery Yesterday.
It's a movie where a
The
guy
Beatles.
gets hit by a car or something, but wakes up and he's the only one in the whole world that knows all of the Beatles songs.
Yeah.
Ana de Armas had a role in that movie that was promoted in the trailer, and then her part was cut from the movie.
Oh, whoops.
So a guy went and saw this, realized that Ana de Armas wasn't in it, and he sued the movie company because
Nice.
he said, I was going because I really like Ana de Armas, and she wasn't in the movie. You falsely
Wow.
advertised.
I mean, that's pretty fair.
And it's
actually.
like, yeah, even though she might have only had like a minor role, 2 scenes, whatever, he technically saw her, and if that was like your incentive of going,
Mm-hmm.
you used her as an advertisement, and then they didn't show it. So now like Disney could get hit with that one. It's like, hey, Hulk's in Infinity War. No, he's not. You know, like in that trailer when they're all running in Wakanda,
Oh, yeah.
doesn't even happen because in one cut of the movie he breaks out of the Hulkbuster and is the Hulk, so they film those scenes,
Yeah.
not actually in the movie. So going forward,
tricky.
you can't be
show.
misled anymore. So I don't know if that would incentivize you to want to watch trailers more.
I want to watch
because-
trailers less then.
Yeah, because now they'll have to put everything that truly is in the movie, I believe, has to be in the trailer.
That's ridiculous.
So anyway,
I understand that.
Yeah.
But I think trailers are getting out of hand.
oh, 100%. I think there should also be a law that says all trailers need to be teasers, and they can only be 30 seconds long.
If
You don't need to describe the plot to me.
if you combine those two laws of like show everything but keep it less than 30 seconds or a minute, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But you gotta have marketing. You gotta blah blah blah.
Yeah,
So,
some of them are like 2.5 minutes, and like you're seeing the first act develop and how it's leading into the second act before the trailer's even done, and you're
Yeah.
like, whoa.
and there's some movies like we see and it's like 2 minutes. Like, okay, you just gave me in the entire movie. I just didn't see the last maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah. The one thing I will say that's been good about that going to movies with you is it has checked movies off of our box of possible episodes
Mm-hmm.
that we'll just no longer do because we saw the trailer and we're like, I think I saw most of it,
I'm
and
good.
I'm not interested in seeing the extended cut of that.
Sure.
So like, we're good.
Yeah.
So it has at least hindered us, or it has helped us cut down
Yeah.
from
Fair.
the like, hey, here's the 10 movies coming out this month.
Yeah.
So that's been helpful at least.
It does help. It does.
Or at least with Avatar, if we go see that soon, the movie's 4 hours long or whatever, 3 hours long. So even if the trailer's 3 minutes long, it's only
Yeah, what are
1%
you
of
gonna
the
do?
movie. You
Yeah.
can't really spoil it, so we're
Mhm.
good. But apparently, there's like rumors that there's like a 9-hour cut somewhere,
Well, of course.
and it's like, I'm doing it.
That's the other 6 hours is James Cameron in his submarine.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, I got off topic.
What are we talking
Morbius.
about? Oh, we're fine. We don't have to talk about Morbius.
There's a few things. No, Morbius.
More Morbius.
Let's give it, as Alfred said. Let's give it its. What is
Stay
it?
in the sun.
It's a day in the sun.
I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Let's give it its tangerine.
You spat in the face of Gotham. Whatever. Anyway, I love Sir Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
The best Alfred.
Michael Caine.
Best Alfred. Matt Smith, out of control in this movie, and I absolutely love it.
Right.
The fact that he can do this and people still will talk about House of the Dragon more. And it's just like, this never happened. He became a meme for just an amazing scene in this movie, and God bless him.
Yeah.
He is untouchable.
Yeah.
That he can do what he did in this movie
And then
just
go and make
just pop
House-
off. He's the man. I think like the Doctor Who of it all is probably what
Sure.
helps him, is like
can be
he's just
goofy.
so charismatic that
Yeah.
like he's like, hell yeah, I'll
Yeah.
do Jared Leto's Morbius, and it's like, my man, good on you. I will say also Jared Leto did very much look like Mr. Michael Morbius.
Like a man who was starving for literally anything.
Yeah.
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 I think I don't hate Jared Leto as an actor or
That's
in
good.
this role. I think he's fine.
Yeah.
I just don't think the movie's good.
Yeah. And the end credit scene
Oh, that
technically
is,
ruins all of MCU continuity. So
yeah, the
they need to definitely figure their stuff out.
yeah, the end credit scene alone is just absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
But the movie itself, I don't know, like fine.
Yeah.
It's like a 3.
Yep. Yeah, Sony just needs to figure out, like, I know that we're asking, and we, as in Marvel, Disney proper or whatever, are asking for some of their toys. But they're like, yeah, we know how to play too. And then they just released, like, this mid-credit scene where Michael Keaton clearly just was like, yeah, I'll do whatever you want,
Wait.
but, like, is this actually a thing?
Yeah.
And it just wreaks havoc with everything that happened in No Way Home, if this is technically true.
Yeah.
And not to be like a nitpicky like "Meow, meow, meow, meow," but it's like that was the whole point of like Peter's sacrifice at the end of No Way Home, that everyone would go back to normal.
Yeah.
So to say that it didn't happen like for one person means that it could have not happened for any of them, and it just blows up everything.
Well, it was just bad too.
And he just figured out how to get a vulture suit in
No,
this
it was
universe.
intriguing. He's like,
Yeah.
I think we got to go fight
Interested?
Spider-Man. You want to go fight Spider-Man? Oh, intriguing.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. He's like, I got teleported to a whole new universe. I think Spider-Man has something to do with it. It's like, wait, you've been in prison for like 3 years, and you think a high school kid that you know the identity of
I'm in a
had
different
something
universe.
to do with you getting? Oh my dude,
Oh,
10 out of 10.
yeah.
Anyway, but no, I agree. This is definitely the worst comic book movie of the year.
Yeah.
And they're, oh yeah, never mind. I have my ears mixed up. It's fine.
Well, what?
Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
Well, we go from worst to best. And
Okay.
for my money, it's definitely the Batman.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's just great. I mean, we talked about it before.
It's untouchable.
We have an entire other podcast episode if you want to
Yeah,
hear more
check
about
us out
that.
at Not Us United.
Not United.
Anchor.com or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And so to be this good, this long, and this interesting, and of a property that's been done practically to death, to do the feel of it, the emotion of it, Robert Pattinson is my favorite Batman.
Yeah.
I and it's just as one out of one movie.
Dang, you've already dethroned Christian Bale.
Yeah,
Damn. Good on you.
I say that tentatively.
Yeah, I mean, it's curious
I
to
would
see how it
enjoy. I
goes.
would like to see a second movie and to kind of reform that opinion. But as of now, I'm like, he's up there. I'm like, I'm not saying he is, but I'm like, I'm not
kinda have, like,
saying
the-
he's not.
I kind of have like the 3 Spider-Man actor things with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like Christian Bale has the best voice for sure. Oh, dude, I love that voice so
Martha.
much. Ben Affleck had the best like build
Yeah,
for. Oh, dude, that
Tank.
that old Golden Age Batman, like Dark
Mhm.
Knight Returns stuff. Oh,
He
I
looks
loved it
great.
so much. What a just brute.
Yeah.
And then
Young.
the leanness and just the like he doesn't like hate, but there is something driving Robert Pattinson in this one that I don't know, he's just a little more detective-y.
Yes. Yes. He's the most detective-y.
Without like I feel like Christian Bale definitely does some cool stuff, but he has these kick-ass gadgets that like do it all for him.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm so super smart.
Yes.
and perhaps
with
that
the Riddler and everything
Riddler
like
helps
that, yeah.
because it's the most like intellectual villain. So there's aspects to all three of them that are just so cool, and I felt like that's what they did. Like, let's lean into what's your strength, and let's just go with that. And I think Rob Pattinson's going to be really, really interesting.
Yeah,
going forward, I'm excited that they found someone that's willing to do this, because sometimes this is career suicide, sometimes it's not. Christian Bale's clearly fine. Like, I can go make, I mean,
anything he wants.
yeah, but also those Batman movies were not gonna like ruin him.
No,
Christopher Nolan like knew what he was doing.
Yeah, insane.
So anyway,
great. Let's see.
And Paul Dano,
and Gordon, Jeffrey Wright.
Well, even Selena Kyle in this was super good. The fact that they actually leaned into, there were times where it almost felt like the baton was getting passed as who was the main actor in this movie. The villain got like a good chunk. The side character of Selena Kyle got a good chunk, but also like Bruce Wayne had some like moments in this that were really good, and Batman. Oh, and dude, Batman's Venom shot, dude,
it's great,
brutal.
I will say, I would say not far. Well, I liked Wakanda Forever a lot. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think that would be my second favorite comic movie of the year. I think that's a by far my two favorite comic movies, and then below that is like pretty far gap between it and Thor and
yeah. If we forgot that Batman came out in March, Wakanda Forever
would be my favorite for sure, no doubt.
I saw a really good meme about Wakanda Forever that they tied it into the Avengers, and it's like the part where Quicksilver in Age of Ultron, he's like, so this is S.H.I.E.L.D., and then Cap goes, this is what S.H.I.E.L.D.'s supposed to be. And it's when the helicarrier shows up and gets all the people. They're like, Wakanda Forever. So this is the MCU. And then Cap goes, this is what the MCU is supposed to be. And I was like,
nice.
Yeah, you're right.
No, seriously.
Because for Phase 4, I think a lot of people were like, what the heck, Spider-Man? What the heck? Or Shang-Chi, what the heck, Spider-Man? What the heck, Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
Like, it was a good capstone. And then the shows were kind of all over. So, but yeah, it was that one. Just, I don't think it could have failed. Yeah, but it delivered on so many different levels that you can't.
Yeah. It felt normal Marvel. Like this, this is what they used to normally like be like. Okay, we have a competent. I think it's a competently well-made, good movie with heart. Yeah, that's what we just want, and I don't think we've been really getting that.
And I do think we need to like address that, like. There's a movie that exists that has 3 different Spider-Men in it from different movie universes,
right.
And it worked. And like, we're so spoiled, you know. But again, let's still keep holding them to the quality, because those things exist. So now look what they can keep doing. So let's go. Come on, MCU, let's go, baby. Phase 5, let's go. I'm ready.
I think Phase 5 will be better.
Yeah, and we're gonna get some Thunderbolts, which could be dog, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be. We're gonna go in. I think maybe they're trying to just ruin our expectations, to be like, oh no, the MCU is ruined, and they're gonna come out with King Dynasty, and we're just gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest movie. It's back.
Anyway. So I think let's wrap up here.
If we must.
I have one more category, and then you have 8.
Okay.
But they coincide with one another. My category was our next quote, Werewolves Within. And to remind people, Werewolves Within is a movie that we saw at the beginning of Not Us United, the birthing of Not Us United, where it was just a joy.
It was. So this one has to be one that we saw together in the theaters.
And it was just like surprising and like bad, good, just like kind of out of nowhere. No one's heard about it. No one's really gonna see it. And there's only one answer to this question.
What are you gonna say?
The answer is obviously the Batman. No, it's a Violent Night.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I thought you were just gonna be like, because Everything Everywhere All at Once was so good, but it can't be the Werewolves Within.
No,
but that one, when we saw it together, we were looking at each other like, there's rocks talking to each other.
That was just great. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was definitely an experience
But yeah,
to see together.
The Violent Night, or
It's like it's just small budget. It's just like it has that feel of like just there's people just having fun, being crazy,
yes,
and just like it's the Werewolves Within of this year.
I think I'm not exaggerating when I say I will probably own Violent Night, and I will find a way to watch it probably annually.
Yeah,
and
well,
I think
it's a
it feels
Christmas
like a
movie.
nice let's grab some whiskey, get the boys, and let's just watch a Violent Night.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be my Die Hard.
Oh,
It's gonna be the one where we just kind of are like, come on, boys, man stuff. Let's
Yeah.
watch this movie. Yeah, it's for sure. It's gonna be.
I could get down with that.
Let's go.
Okay.
There could be some fun drinking
Deck these
games.
halls.
Every time somebody dies, be obliterated. We can't play that game. Never mind. No, but it was a good year.
Well, let me hear your categories.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Okay.
So I sent very thought out categories to Nick. It'd be like, about a week ago, I was like, Nick, here are my categories. I'm be thinking about like
Yeah.
of the year as a whole, and like I just want to get some good dialogue going. And Nick fires back with this.
All right. Yeah. So I was pretty excited, in particular, for this season. So I said best Santa movie.
Yeah, it's Christmas time.
Number 2, best Viking Santa movie. Number 3, most surprising Santa movie. Number 4, this one's gonna be a really tricky one. Most violent night Santa movie.
That one I'd have thought about for a while.
And then obviously 5, you want to leave it open for interpretation. Honorable mention for Christmas Santa movie. Yeah. And I'd probably pick a Violent Night for most of those.
Maybe the last one's debatable because there is other Christmas movies that came
There
out.
are other Christmas movies. Nah, it's still a
Yeah,
Violent
still,
Night. Yeah. Yeah. So mine got through pretty fast. Would
Yeah.
you say you would probably pick a Violent Night for even as your Viking Santa movie? Interesting.
I'm trying to go with a different kind of pick.
Got it. Yeah.
I mean,
It has
of
everything,
all
guys.
the movies
everything.
that there's a Viking Santa Claus in it
Yeah.
with an axe wield or a hammer wielding Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I can even count them on
No.
one hand.
No.
If I
If
only
you
had one
ever
finger on
wanted
my hand.
To know the meaning behind Deck the Halls, this movie answers
Look no
that.
further. Look no further.
This movie does it.
Okay. I'm going to name a few movies else that I saw just to kind of talk about them.
Let's do it.
Just because I like going down memory lane.
Rapid fire.
Secrets of Dumbledore. Trash.
Trash.
Hated it.
Sick.
Don't
I
watch
knew
this
it was
movie.
trash because I hadn't seen it, and I won't because
Yes.
it looks like trash.
Some other movies that I thought were pretty bad. Black Phone.
Black Phone had some promise, and then it sucked.
Almost in there for disappointing for me, but I just wasn't hyped enough really for
Yeah.
it.
And that was one of those rare occurrences where, I know we get some feedback where, like, it seems like you guys rate a lot of your movies pretty high. Well, we typically want to talk about movies that we
Enjoy.
enjoy, and so we're not going to spend money on movies that we think will suck.
Yeah.
Black Phone did not seem like it would suck.
Yeah.
It had a lot of the credentials of a good Ethan Hawke Ethan Hawke is doing well right now. Scott Diedrichson was the director.
Yeah.
For Sinister
Strange.
and Doctor Strange. Clearly has a good track record. It seemed like a safe choice for us, and we just thought it sucked.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Some other movies I thought were not that great. Death of the Nile. I didn't like that much.
Yeah. Definitely not good as a sophomore film in the
For Orient Express, which I thought was a great film.
Yeah.
I have The Gray Man on here, another episode that we reviewed. Just not feeling too great about it. This is why we're going to my mid picks.
Yeah. It's hard when the Russo brothers are going to now be advertised as Avengers Endgame, and the guys who brought you basically the most successful movies of all time just decided to make you this like Netflix movie that was filmed in like 8 weeks. Here you
On
go.
a green screen, yeah.
But apparently was
think it's
Extraction
fine.
good though? With
Extraction was good.
and that they did do that
this
one,
was
right?
better
So-
Extraction was better than Gray Man.
I don't know. Part of me is just wondering if they just want to get a little separated to just like, can we just do something else for a little bit?
And as we talked in the episode, I am interested in more Gray Man
Yes.
stuff.
Yes. I want to
Multiple
see
Gray Men.
Purple Man,
Oh yeah, sure, whatever.
whatever the sequel will be.
One that had a running for next Werewolves Within movie, Moonfall.
Oh, Moonfall. How could we forget about that? Ugh. The last movie I saw
Oh,
before
dear.
the birth of my daughter. Michael asked me, "What's one thing you can do this week before your baby comes?" I was like, "Well, I'd like to go see a movie." And this was the only thing that we were even semi-interested in.
I like to go see
Beautiful.
Moonfall with my boy.
Beautiful. Dude, Moonfall.
I mean, you can always tell Darcy, this is the movie that I saw
Yeah.
before you entered the world.
Yeah.
Before you came and just changed my life. This movie changed my life first, so
you know how like Jyn Erso in Rogue One is called Stardust? I'll just call Darcy Moonfall.
Oh, let's go.
It's like not a great movie, but kind of a badass name, you know?
Yeah, Moonfall.
So,
Moonfall, get over here.
yeah.
Mm.
Darcy Moonfall.
Moonfall. Two movies that I thought were good. This is getting to my good categories. Barbarian. Enjoyed very much.
Barbarian was wild.
Yeah.
Definitely threw a twist at us.
Yeah.
Had no idea there was
Bamba.
going to be what was going to be in that movie.
Yeah.
I actually kind of want to leave that one spoiler free.
Yes.
I would like people to go see that movie.
I agree.
It's a good one.
One that I think was a little surprising to me also was Prey on Hulu.
Prey was excellent.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to talk some friends who are like very big Predator fans that
Oh.
have like
Kind of wash this off.
they're like the last three have been awful basically. So
This is
I'm
a
like
good
I'm with you, but trust me, this one's good. And then yeah, Prey was very good and surprising that it was like strictly streaming.
Yeah, which was great for me.
Because
I'll
it
just
didn't
say.
seem to like cut the budget of it at all.
No.
It looked great.
I thought I'm like thinking about it more now. I'm like, I really, really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. And it's weird that Predator wasn't a video game before because all of the movies kind of play off like one,
Mhm.
and this would be an excellent video game concept.
Yeah.
Be kind of cool. Anyway,
So overall, give a rating to this year.
Dang, the movies that popped off though, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, they really did. I mean, imagine a movie draft for 2022.
It'd be wild.
This would be a.
I think we should do that.
Are we doing it?
Oh, look out for
This-
that coming
this-
next year.
I mean, when you can look at this and go, action, what are you picking?
Oh yeah, you got Top Gun. You could even go
Yeah.
like Batman.
So I'm just
Wakanda
like,
Forever.
there's
Prey.
some really good.
But horror, I think horror is a strong category as well. I would throw Violent Night could possibly be in there. You got Fresh, Bones and All, Barbarian.
Yeah, I don't know if Violent Night's that scary.
Horror,
Mm,
horror suspense. Yeah, okay, fair. That would be.
it's
maybe.
more of
It's gory.
but yes, very gory. That's true.
I wouldn't argue with you too much
Yeah,
if you put it in there.
I just don't think I'd get the vote for it being the scariest movie of the year.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? But still, yeah, your bro's picking Barbarian if
Yeah.
I can, because that scared the crap out of me. This year did an 8.
Wow,
8 out
that's
of
pretty
10.
high.
Yeah, because I think I'm okay with Tom Cruise saying that he saved cinema because Maverick was actually really good.
Yeah.
Like when that
might
trailer
have
comes on
actually
every
done that.
time I watch something where it's like, watch this year's resurrection of cinema. I was like, Maverick was pretty good.
Might
But,
have
like,
to.
The Batman also was excellent. That
Yeah.
came out in March.
Yeah.
And it was clearly successful enough to keep making sequels. So
Yeah.
like,
I think you have great movies this year. I think you have Batman. You have Everywhere All at Once. Incredible movie.
yeah,
Top Gun. I liked Wakanda. Fresh. I mean, you really enjoyed Bones and All and Violent Night. Nope wasn't one that we haven't really talked
Nope.
about too much, but that's, I mean, hit or miss for some people, but
Yeah.
it's still like it's
pretty
good.
solid year.
We got some duds in here as well. So every year has this. I just don't think there's enough like, oh my gosh, like these are all amazing. I think there's a few other years where we get a lot
Sure.
of good hits. So I was actually going like a 7.5.
Okay.
Just
Fair
because I think I think it's very mid. A lot
Yeah.
of stuff is like I liked it, but not
Mm-hmm.
blew me away.
Yeah. But the ones that did
Yes.
a lot.
Yeah, it's
I see what you're
skewed.
saying.
It's not like a bell curve. It's like it is skewed to like, whoa, the ones that really did it.
Yeah.
Did it
Might be
great.
one of the best Batman movies ever created, but
But Morbius came out this year.
Morbius came. I get you. Very yin and yang.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Tom Cruise saved cinema, but then Dumbledore pooped on his bed.
And Avatar isn't gonna make enough money.
Oh yeah, well I will say we have both not seen Avatar.
We will get that watched. It'll probably be the beginning of the year when we review that one.
Yeah.
There's a couple Oscar ones that you'll have to go and watch.
Where's the two men aren't friends anymore, and they're Irish or whatever?
I mean I really liked it, but I think if I was gonna pick
What's the name of the movie?
my art,
So...
The Banshees of Inisherin. Excellent movie. Liked it a lot. Felt almost like a play. Even though they're,
it's cinema.
Yeah, there's good set pieces and stuff like that, but and they're outside and all that stuff, so it's obviously a movie, but it just felt like two dudes that are kind of wherever in their career where they can just be like, I don't care. Let's just do a good acting movie. So it was good, but I think like if I'm going to pick the best movie of this year, it's probably Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, I think.
And then Top Gun Maverick is probably like, hey, if you can win the Golden Globe, God bless you, but
sure.
I don't think you're getting in the Oscars probably. But you're the closest an action movie will probably get to getting an Oscar.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Just because it was so cool.
Yeah.
And that's one of those that I always want to champion, movies that bring everybody together, and that movie did.
Yeah.
So,
save cinema.
Cool.
Well, that's 2022, folks. Thank you for being on this ride with us.
Yeah.
Not Us United. We look forward to another wonderful year of cinema in 2023.
Yes.
We'll start off strong with a movie that came out this year.
That's right. But it'll definitely be in the theaters for a while, so it still counts.
Yeah.
But also, just thanks for riding it out with us. I know the season has been a little hit or miss, but this is officially the end of season 3. We're going to start season 4 at the beginning of the year. We're very excited.
We got some surprises for you. And do we know what they are? No.
Showbiz, babe.
Fine by the seat of our pants.
I love it.
But look what we're bringing back the movie drafts. We're bringing back IMDb.
Yes.
We're bringing back Michael's Corner with whatever I think of at the moment. Teeth brush.
God. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Your interesting facts. Yeah. No, it'll be a good one. Next year is shaping up to also have like movies constantly throughout the year.
I think it's gonna be pretty.
There's not gonna be a lot of lulls.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Well, Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year and a wonderful post-Christmas.
And to all a good night
Awful
and
to
day.
a deck the halls.
Boom.
Yeah.
All right.
Cinema, baby.
See you, everybody.
Bye. You've just listened to Not Us United. You can find us under Not Us United on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. Please leave us a review and consider subscribing to our podcast. You can reach out for future podcast topic suggestions at notusunitedpod@gmail.com.